G'day everybody, welcome back to Dune Awakening. Hope you guys are doing well and welcome back to our base in the Western Shield Wall. In the previous episode, we managed to complete a few different missions, most notably the mission involving the Bene Gesserits. Unfortunately, it was not the last one, so we've got a little bit more work to do on that front. I'm hoping in this episode we might be able to complete the Bene Gesserit mission, which should take us to an Imperial testing station. And since we're, doing Imperial testing stations, we may as well also visit, I believe this is Imperial testing station number 60, which is also required as part of one of our missions there for the wall in the valley. So we'll see if we can try and do that. But I do want to address one thing from the previous episode. I feel like I was being a little bit of a doofus trying to find out what best way to get stravidium strands and to try and continually make some plastanium. And I didn't realize that in actual fact the cutter ray that we're using currently is only a Mark IV, and I thought we were at the very best cutter ray that we had, when in fact I could actually upgrade this to a Mark V. Mark V has been available to us for the longest time, and so I've already made one here at the survival fabricator. So let's grab that. And let's use the Mark V cutter ray. And look, this gives me a decent excuse to go all the way back to, to the deep desert, really, and to see if we can just start gathering some of those materials. Mind you, there are other materials that we still haven't found. So if we are going for a Mark VI cutter ray, we're going to need those thermo-responsive ray amplifiers, and I believe these exist in the deep desert as well, as well as a whole bunch of other new components such as advanced machinery, and I think I saw one other thing that might also be available from the deep desert. I'm just trying to see what that might be. I think it could have something to do with the next stage of armor that we would need to build. Plasteel composite armor plating, potentially. Again, that could be something that we would craft ourselves or potentially loot off of enemies. But yeah, we've got a lot of work ahead of us, obviously, to try and get these things sourced. I am very keen on working our way towards a carrier ornithopter as well. And yeah, I feel like we're going to need a hell of a lot of plastanium. Then there are these tri-forged hydraulic pistons, which I don't really know where to find. Overclocked power regulators, yeah. Whole bunch of stuff that we haven't seen just yet. But let's just make sure that we are ready for a bit of a stint out there in the deep desert. And yeah, I think this will be sort of our, very first time being in the deep desert for a prolonged period of time. I'm hoping to be able to come home with a big haul of stuff, basically. So I just want a little bit more fuel, just in case. I don't really know if we need a radiation suit with us, but I might just bring it just in case. I don't know if there are any areas out there that could be irradiated. But yeah, let's get going. And what I might do is I might see you guys when we're out there, and yeah, we'll explore around. I might cut in and out here and there because obviously, just gathering up some materials is going to be, relatively boring. But I'm sort of hoping to make it out to, I guess, a really far off area, and not just hang out near the entrance to the deep desert, if that makes sense. Very good. Alright, so as well as the stridvidium, we also need the titanium ores to be able to process plastanium, so I'm keen on looking for this as well. And finally, I feel like we're making a bit of progress. I was thinking I would need to, you know, gather up some of these ore chunks that are already loose and, you know, spend a very, very long time trying to do that until we get to a Mark 6 cutter ray, which I was sort of dreading to do until I realized that I could have easily just made the Mark 5. So here we are. I'm glad that I discovered that, because otherwise it would have taken me ages to get there. So yeah, gonna keep a look out for more stridvidium and some more titanium. But I do want to try to make it out to, well, I guess we did a little bit of exploring in the previous episode, but I think maybe things have reset already. So I don't really know which way I want to go, aside from just getting away from the natural entrance to the deep desert. So I'm just going to go in some random direction, and if I see anything interesting, I'll cut you guys in. But otherwise, I'm just going to be landing here and there and just gathering some materials. Right guys, I haven't exactly come across anything super interesting aside from, you know, just resource nodes and whatnot, but I did come across, you know, a few bases here and there, and it's kind of interesting to see how people set up bases here in the deep desert. I mean, this person has pretty much a box shape, and I can understand why, because this place is going to get destroyed within, what, a couple of weeks or something like that when the Coriolis storm comes through. But they seem to have a lot of storage, and, you know, basically just enough space to have various, you know, flying vehicles come in and out. And I suppose maybe that is the extent of any bases that you can build in this area. I don't really know, you know, how worthwhile it is to do that, unless you're maybe cooperating with a whole bunch of other players as part of maybe a guild. But yeah, I guess we might not even be there just yet. But yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of effort expended to build a base out here only for it to get destroyed. I suppose if you time things right, you could probably dismantle the entire thing before the next Coriolis storm comes through. But yeah, all I have to say is that's dedication, a lot of commitment. I am actually just continuing my way north from our starting point, and I am just watching our fuel very closely, because the last thing I want is for us to not be able to return. So I'm not entirely sure how much fuel we exactly have, but at some point, perhaps maybe when we're about 3/4 the way with our current tank, then we might need to pull back. I'm just sort of taking a look at how much fuel we have here. This probably should fill the thing one more time. So we might need the entire tank to get all the way back to the Haga Basin. And then there's a little bit of fuel that I need to expend to obviously get myself back home. I have seen some control points here and there. There is another one right here. But apparently there are some control points that you can't capture immediately. So something about the house request not being revealed yet, and therefore you cannot capture things until that happens first. Maybe something similar happening here. House Moritani. So nothing seems to be happening while I sit here. I'm just concerned about, you know, getting killed by a player. But, we could take a very quick look at, what's going on the Landsrad menu. Mauritania. Let's take a look. Ah, here we go. So it's already claimed, and that could be the reason why nothing happened there. That's okay. It means that perhaps maybe it is unlikely that an enemy player might come out here to try and claim it and therefore kill us in the process. So I should be able to just gather a few things here and there. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing here until we find something a little bit more interesting. Alright guys, so I've just found a control point. This is for House Lindaren, and although we have already captured it, it doesn't seem like we've already claimed the card for House Lindaren just yet. Which means there is a chance that other players might come here to try to claim this control point. I mean, I don't really want to stick around until enemies do show up, but there's a lot of stuff here. Ooh, okay, did I just hear a geyser? Ooh, yes, okay. Over there. That I could do with, because, I mean, we can find spice back in the Haga Basin, but I'm curious to see what spice harvesting would be like in this area. I don't know if this is going to require us to have specific tools, because I know there's the harvester that we need to try and research and make. I mean, this seems like a really, really large geyser, so perhaps maybe it might actually attract enemies. And this thing looks very ominous as well. Can you even start harvesting immediately, or do you need to wait for a certain period of time? That much I'm not certain. But one thing that we do have prepared since the last episode is the spice mask, so maybe it's not a bad idea to put that on. I don't actually see any spice on the ground just yet. I wonder if I have to wait. Oh, look at that. I think there's some spice right here. Yes, okay, this is a little bit of spice. It looks a little bit different from the spice that I'm used to. Perhaps maybe a mask is necessary in this case. It looks a little bit ominous, doesn't it? Yeah, gotta be careful about worms as well. Whoa, okay. I'm just wondering if, perhaps maybe the... Oh, okay, maybe it's not stable. maybe it might rupture and blow out. This thing still hasn't ended yet, so I don't know what to think of this entire situation. Meanwhile, my fuel is slowly depleting, but I am actually concerned about losing my ornithopter because we do have a big hole, and I would love to not have to rebuild my ornithopter, to be honest. Oh, I don't know what's close enough and what's not. Whoa. Okay. What the hell? Okay, at least the ornithopter was not damaged. I'm glad that I didn't park it right next to it. Are we safe at this point? Well, it doesn't look as ominous as before. And we are getting the marker that we need for harvesting. So one thing that I'm not entirely sure of is what the behavior of sandworms are like in the deep desert, and whether or not they're pretty much the same as dealing with sandworms in the Haga Basin, because it's not too difficult to avoid sandworms in the Haga Basin. Oh, yeah, that one dove pretty quick. Okay, that wasn't too bad. This geyser still seems to be going on and on and on, so I'm not entirely sure when the spice will be ready for harvest there, but I am most certainly not going to pass up the opportunity for some free spice right here. I will throw that in here though, and look, that does put our cargo at max, or almost max, so I am actually thinking of bringing everything we have back home. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't look safe, does it? Oh, look at that. Okay, if we just like go right underneath it, we can definitely see some spice there. Whether or not we can actually harvest it is a different story though. I don't see the harvesting mark. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue further north. And, well, I'm sort of hoping that we find other things of interest in here, aside from spice. We knew spice was going to be out here, but I'm sort of hoping for other stuff, other things that might give us the components that we're looking for. Okay, so I've been roaming around quite a bit, and aside from finding a whole bunch of spice everywhere, this is the only other thing that I've seen which seems to be quite unique. So I'm just looking around for any signs of worms, because we're going to probably need to be very quick about this thing. I feel like maybe we've seen these things in Haga Basin as well, but...
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is
oh
approaching.
no, okay, I've got a sandstorm to deal with as well. That is really, really bad. I need to get some cover and use the tent. And I need to do it fast. Okay, and I also need to take absolutely everything out.
Sector
Okay.
weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Throw that in there, and tent out. Okay, that was... that was stressful. Good thing we're not in, like, some PvP area or anything like that. So we're gonna have to wait till the storm passes. But yeah, very interesting time here, our very first proper deep desert experience. We've been here a few times now. I feel like every time we've been here we haven't been able to achieve too much. So, oh my goodness, alright. There's lightning? I was not expecting that. I assume the lightning would damage anything it touches. And are we at risk of dying as a result? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the tent is going to keep us safe. Oh, that one was really close. Okay. That was a bit uncomfortable, to be honest. Okay, let's throw this back down. Okay, so let me go out this way again. Oh no, don't tell me. Yeah, I think we let our opportunity slip there. I think the ship is gone. It was sitting just over here. I don't see it anymore. So perhaps maybe the storm has destroyed it. Okay, with that in mind though, I'm getting a little bit nervous about getting home with enough fuel. I'm going to head south, and I'm gonna see if we can get back to the Haga Basin with what we have. Also, the wings of our ornithopter are looking worse for wear, so I'm gonna need to try and fix that at some point. I might need to fix it while we're out here still. Oh my goodness, look at that. Actually, that is a... Is that a shipwreck? It looks like it. Would there be anything interesting in here? Quite possibly, right? There appears to be a control point as well, which I think we've already captured. Or, well, at least our house has already captured. Unrecovered shipwreck. Yeah, we're low fuel. Let's just refuel a little bit. Yeah, just trying to figure out how to get in. This looks like the entrance. I do see an enemy out front. I don't know how difficult these guys are to deal with. Man, this guy is an absolute tank. Actually, let's put our helmet back on, because we're not really dealing with spice right now. There we go. Alright. Man, that was a bit of a challenge. Okay, nothing to loot from this guy, apparently. Oh. This does make me slightly nervous, because we do need to leave the ornithopter out there with all the stuff in it. Oh, and I do see radiation here. I think I'm in a pretty bad situation here. Ooh, okay. Very close. Okay, even more enemies. I am going to need to try and chip away at these enemies. Oh my goodness, grenades. Okay, so I think I'm pulling out of that, and the reason for it is I'm actually a bit concerned that we might actually have the heavy respawn and therefore blocking our way out, although did just manage to take out one there. Man, that took a very long time. It was very difficult to kill that guy. Oh, yeah, okay. Way too many. Okay, I'm definitely pulling out of that now, because I think the heavy's probably going to respawn sometime soon, and I want to get all of our stuff back home. So, yeah, at least we know where it is though. I'm just sort of having a look here, but if we... yeah, if we sort of go... I would say directly north from the leftmost entrance of the deep desert, I think we should be able to get back there, provided we don't take too long before coming back, that is. So anyway, heading back. I'll probably see you guys when we get back to the Haga Basin, to be honest. Right guys, so we are back at the base, and as you saw, as I was sort of returning back to the Haga Basin, we saw another shipwreck, which was much closer to the entrance of the deep desert. And I know I did say that we might go to some Imperial testing stations this episode, but you know what? I'm kind of getting excited about some of the stuff that we might be able to find out there if we do explore the shipwreck. The only concern that I have is whether or not we'll actually be able to survive against a lot of the enemies, because they are really tough to deal with. Let me just fill all of our containers here. We'll continue to let our water filter, you know, add more water to our system here. But while I'm here, I'm also going to just add a few more particulate filters here. I can only make the one. I probably need quite a bit more silicon actually, so I probably need to work on that. I do have a bit of plastone, sorry, is it plastone? Yes, not plastone, plastanium rather. And I don't think I have enough though to actually, you know, make anything that's going to make the job easier out there. And I was sort of thinking, is there a way for us to get better weapons at this stage to be able to take out some of those enemies a lot faster? But as I was sort of looking at my options here, there seems to be a few different components and crafting materials that I've not found before, like the plasteel composite gun parts. So again, not sure where to find these things, and the best thing that I can do at the moment in the deep desert would be to essentially try to kill those enemies as quick as possible, despite, you know, them sort of absorbing quite a lot of that damage, right? So if we rush, perhaps maybe we might get there, but yeah, I'm not fully confident, but I'm willing to sort of give it another go, to be honest. Do I have everything that I need to try and survive out there? We do still have the tent. We've got plenty of water. This welding wire, I did make a little bit more just in case we need that, and I have done a bit of a repair on everything for the ornithopter. Let's go back out there and let's see if we can approach the wreck that's closer to the entrance to the deep desert, and I would say, hopefully, we find the materials that we're looking for. But this episode may just be us doing a proper expedition out there in the deep desert, and it's, you know, kind of a first for us, so I'm sort of discovering all sorts of new things out there. Right guys, so I thought I chose the leftmost entrance to the deep desert, but in fact it sort of put me just in the center entrance for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but on my way to sort of try and get closer to that shipwreck, I've just noticed this little section here, which also looks to be part of a ship. And I'm hoping perhaps maybe there's something interesting in here. Maybe a miniature version of a shipwreck, and therefore perhaps maybe it might have the same stuff in it, which we might be able to loot. I don't see any enemies, though that doesn't exactly give me too much confidence, because perhaps we may have had another player, you know, explore this area just before us. We'll try and be prepared and kill off any enemies that we find if we do get ourselves into trouble. Oh, yeah, I've got explosives here. One thing that I didn't do, which I should have, is I should have perhaps prepared some more bandages, made sure that we come to these places a bit more prepared with more healing items. But yeah, we'll take a look around. It does seem pretty clear, aside from, you know, all of these mines, obviously. Okay, so we've seen these thermoelectric coolers before. We definitely need them. So, decent find. What do we have here? Nothing too interesting, it seems. Mendex chest plate. And another Adept Jabal split dart. I mean, we're using the Adept one at the moment, right? So it doesn't really interest me that much. Okay, nothing too exciting. Let's continue. And once again, I'm looking for that same shipwreck that we passed as we were making our way back home. Okay, guys, I've been flying around a little bit near the entrance to the deep desert, and I can't seem to find the location of this shipwreck that we saw on our way back. I don't know... Oh, maybe that's it over there. It is quite difficult to find stuff, and the map seems to have reset once I came back here, so I don't know if we're delivered to a different server and therefore a different seed, so to speak, and that perhaps maybe, you know, the layout is a bit different, or what the deal is. But anyway, we found it in the end. I was sort of flying around for a little bit there, trying to look for this place. So the difference that we have this time around, though, is that, well, I don't have anything in the Orni, so I'm not too afraid of dying, and I'm hoping to be able to keep the Orni sort of free of anything until we actually need to, maybe on our way back after, you know, looting this place. And oh, yeah, that was a horrible start. I forgot about my shields. Whoa.
Eyes on target.
Wow, them having that skill is very, very, very problematic.
Enemy sighted. Eyes on hostile. Here. Found them.
My goodness. I'm gonna run out of healing items before long.
Huh? Kill them all. I've got you covered. Reloading.
Okay. I feel like I could run out of ammo as well, considering how many bullets are required to try and kill off these guys. Let's top up our stamina and water. Maybe want to be a little bit careful because we do have enemies in the area. Okay. Oh, right. There's a lot in there. Doing multiple enemies at once is kind of a bad idea. Trying not to attract any more than I have to. There we go. Alright. So if we can figure out a pattern of when they reload, that's probably the best time to try and take them out. I'm just thinking about whether or not there's an opportunity for us to go through the radiation. Alright, not bad. Take that. And let me heal up. Okay. Right, again, I'm still a little bit afraid of, like, enemies respawning. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this on, and I'm gonna take a look at whether or not there's anything I can find through the radiation itself, and perhaps therefore avoiding enemy encounters altogether. Okay, it looks like we do have to perhaps fight our way through regardless. Well, that's okay. We can try to push on. I don't know how many more enemies might be in this area. I just don't want to get swamped, that's all.
Found them. They're here.
Okay, good.
Fire assistance.
No, too many. Too many of them. Oh, you bastard.
To arms. Throwing grenade. Bam!
That's way too many. Oh my goodness. Alright. No. No. Okay. Defeated by a deserter criminal using light darts. Okay. Interesting respawn points. Haven't lost any of my gear, which is alright. I could drop down that way, but I don't think that's really going to help us too much. Especially if we've got trouble, you know, trying to actually win fights. It's probably better if we tried to chip away at it. I'm just trying to think here. Where is our body? Over there somewhere. Defeat location. Okay, I feel like we're in a completely different spot. Am I right in thinking that? I prefer going to the same spot just because, well, with any luck, perhaps maybe some of the enemies have not respawned yet, although it is maybe unlikely. Yeah, that almost makes me feel like I need to be a lot more prepared for the fights that I'm about to have in these locations. Okay, we do have a bit of a problem here, which is the fact that I think there's going to be a storm very, very soon. Either I need to get my tent up, or I'm gonna need to try and get myself into this ship very soon.
Enemy found. You're dead. Eyes on hostile.
Okay, one more.
Reload. 2 arms. Get them.
Man, it takes way too long to try and defeat these enemies. Okay, maybe the storm is actually in a different sector. I did get a warning as I was coming into this area. Okay, there's more radiation here. I could try to just get through. See what's on the other side. Oh yes. Finally, some actual loot. Yes! Okay, plasteel composite gun parts. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So, I feel like once we do manage to get these composite gun parts, we may be able to make at least one type of weapon that might be able to help fight these guys off with a little bit more well, a little bit more easily, let's say. Let's see. Maybe go for you first.
Need to reload.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's run out. I wonder if I'm missing something before coming into some of these areas. Another thing that we could try to do is to see if we could do the final trial. Maybe there's something hidden away from the final trial. Or perhaps maybe something that would unlock after the final trial that might make things a little easier for us. Oh no. Heal up. I might try Prescience mode and see what that does for us. Oh, yeah. Not doing us any favors there. lord. Okay. So I think I'm gonna need to do some heal kits here. So I am running very low on that. Not the kind of loot that I'm looking for, but I'll take it anyway. Another entry point from this way. Is this where we were before? I think it may have been. Okay, he's dead. It's good. One-on-one. Good. All right. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. It seems like a lot of the enemies haven't, in fact, respawned. So maybe we're in luck. Just letting my power recharge there for a little bit. But yeah, we can... Oh, God. Yeah, we can let this guy take some of that poison damage as well. Nice glitch there. Okay, good. So I feel like Prescience has done a lot of work for us in this instance. And it might be a good idea to keep getting some more Prescience if we're going to try to power our way through here. Just making sure there are no enemies. Ooh, what was that? Fluted light caliber compressor. Not sure what that's for. And then we've got plasteel plates. Let's take all of that. More plasteel plates. Heal kits. Oh, it's a Mark 6. Yeah, that's really good. I sort of don't want to deal with more enemies than I have to. So I'm sort of just sneaking around here. Can't remember what plasteel plates are used for actually, but I'm sure that'll come in handy very soon. Ooh, okay, got a ID band there. I did see a door close to where we came in the first time, and I think there's a door accessible from the outside as well. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of enemies out there. I can see a door open on that side. I'm gonna see what we can do if we swing back around this way. Go through the radiation once more. Yeah, this is open. Just don't know what to expect. A lot of enemies in there. And perhaps maybe... Will this thing lock? Because if it does, I think we're screwed. I'm not gonna test that right now, guys, because I'd prefer being able to survive with some of the stuff that we've managed to find. I think that's probably a better decision. And, you know, once we're better equipped, obviously we should be able to make it deeper into the ship. Perhaps maybe find better loot. I should be wearing my armor here. Where is this guy? I think we've been through here before, but I missed this door over here. Yes, okay. Quite a bit more stuff. Unfortunately, nothing really exciting. Okay, better than nothing, I suppose. Alright, let's, again, try to get these guys. Maybe I can push through. If I can lure some of these enemies one by one.
Identify yourself.
I've got you. Found them.
Okay, good stuff. I think we should be able to do this. Although it is a very slow and arduous process. Ah, 2 of them. Yeah, I wasn't expecting scouts to be the problem here. I always thought it would be the heavies that would be the problem. Ah, that's 1. I'll charge in there.
Grenade! Got incoming mouth!
Thank God for that. Alright. Cheeky. We'll grab that. And we are able to enter that door over there. Just looking around just in case there might be more enemies about, but it doesn't look like it. So one thing that I'm not entirely sure of is whether or not this is exactly the same as what we saw before with the enemies inside. I think it just leads to the same area, which I am not ready to challenge, I don't think. Yeah, exactly the same area. Alright, with that in mind, I think I'm heading home. Just getting all of our stuff to safety. Almost missed that. Anything else up this way? I feel like I may have gotten everything. Oh, okay, we've been here before. If that's respawned, I'm afraid perhaps maybe enemies might respawn as well. So yeah, let's leave. I might do a little bit of gathering on my way home, so we've got a little bit more, you know, plastinium to work with, and maybe, just maybe, we might be ready to craft ourselves a decent weapon to try and come back here and do more damage. Righto guys, quite a big haul that we managed to bring home, and I am very, very happy indeed, although I'm not entirely sure if we have enough to make anything new in the Plastanium category. So let me just take a look at what our options are when it comes to weaponry. So we do have plasteel composite gun parts, only 4 of them though, so that is definitely problematic, and nowhere near enough plastanium to get the highest level split dart. And if there's anything that I really, really want, it's a split dart to be able to take enemies out from afar. Alternatively, we could also take a look at some armor here. I'm just looking at what's required. Ballistic weave fabric. That's definitely something that we've not seen, so... nor the plasteel composite armor plating. So those two are out of the question. What about still suits? I wonder if there's anything we can do on that front. So we only need... yeah, okay, there's improved water tubes, which I don't know where to find either at this stage. Yeah. I'm a bit at a loss as to what we should try to go for first. Perhaps maybe the split dart, considering we just need more plasteel composite gun parts. We have seen a few of them, we just need to get very lucky in finding more. So I can work on that between episodes, but I reckon in the next one, we're definitely going to try and pivot around to doing the 2 testing stations that I've got listed here in the objectives, and also we're likely going to complete the last trial as well. And I'm hoping, crossing my fingers here, that as a result of completing the last trial, perhaps maybe other things may unlock. Maybe even the skill tree that we're, you know, still working through at the moment. So there's the advanced skill tree, but then I think there's one more tier above that, which should let us I guess beef up our character a little bit more and perhaps maybe not die so often. Anyway guys, I am going to be signing out here. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Definitely a deeper look into the deeper desert, and I had a lot of fun. Cheers for watching, drop me a like down below as usual, stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.